This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Dixon, and today on the show we're gonna talk about living attentionally compared to living intentionally. And this is a lesson that I really had to learn, and kind of have learning still. I still catch myself, and I still need to make sure that I have to ask myself when I'm doing it. Like, I have to ask myself the right questions to ensure that am I living attentionally or intentionally. And let's talk about what I mean by those two things. So living attentionally is whatever grabs your attention and then being distracted by it. This is the whole like shiny things kind of phenomenon, right? And if you've done the Enneagram, which I've talked a fair bit about before, and you come up as a type 7, this very well may be you. But it could be anyone really still. So a lot of the time I find myself getting distracted by things, and think of the word distracted, it's traction. So you've lost traction on what you should be focusing on, and now you're sort of like just doing a mad burnout and burning rubber. But you're not burning rubber. You're burning time of your life as it slowly disintegrates into the bottom. Do you get the point? Anyway, so what we're looking at here is that the distraction is sometimes because I don't really want to do the thing that I should be doing. Now I say should be doing because maybe it's just something that I agree that I'm going to do. And it's interesting because then I catch myself like scrolling social media or doing something like that, and I'm like, hey, why the fuck am I doing this? This is literally wasting my life. And I'm like, what am I meant to be doing? What did I say I was going to do? And then I think, oh, it's I got to email that person. But maybe part of me subconsciously is not wanting to be rejected, and so rather than email that person and getting rejected and having some sort of, anxious thoughts about it, I just won't do it anyway, and I'll just look at some stupid social media and then have these negative thoughts about people that I don't even know. It's like, this is so weird. It's such a weird thing to think or do, but alas, I've caught myself doing it before, and it's like, whoa, what am I doing? I'm living attentionally because I've lost my intent. Why am I emailing that person in the first place? Well, it's because I believe I got a good message, or I think we should connect and have a great chat, or whatever it may be. And it's just like, right, we'll send the email. And this comes back to the idea is that we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality, right? And so because I've subconsciously created this idea of what's going to happen in the future, you can't actually do that, by the way, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. That's why if you even think about it, like, the word knowledge, like know, actually has now, because now is all you can know. That's it. There's only now that you can know about. Even your memory on the past is still going to be somewhat fragmented and filtered with your own filters over it. So it's interesting going, if I catch myself thinking that this is going to happen, and so I'm just going to distract myself because I don't know how to deal with that, it's like I need to then be aware of that and start living intentionally, and that's moving towards the things that I know are going to be good for me and good for others long term. And this is the idea of having a win-win-win, right, rather than a win-win or even a win-lose. And so what I mean by win-win-win is that, like, it's good for me, it's good for them, and it's good for everyone else. And you think about it like an easy example is if I get someone on the podcast and I have a guest, we get to chat, it's good for them, they get a new audience, and it's good for everyone else that gets to listen. That's a win-win-win, right? And so what I need to sort of catch myself and look at doing is like, right, okay, I'm doing that thing again. What is it that I'm avoiding? And then it's like this, and it's like, why am I avoiding that? And it's like, well, and then all these ideas might come forward from it's stupid anyway, right through to going, well, you're kind of scared of being rejected. And so as soon as I become aware of this, I have a choice, and I have a choice to keep scrolling or keep doing whatever I'm doing that's living attentionally, or I have a choice to actually move towards the thing that's going to project me forward long term. And what I learned about my personality in particular is that if I get given, if I have 4 hours of work to complete in a given day, and I have 10 hours to do that in, it'll take me 10 hours and 5 minutes, or I'll get it done right up to the 10-hour mark. And so what I started doing was going, I don't even own my time. I can't even say, no, I'm doing this because that's my time. I was just giving my time freely to everyone that wanted it, getting pulled left, right, and center. And I think in early stages of your career, there's probably a certain element of that. You just kind of got to be able to do that on some level because you want to get as much experience, as many conversations, and in front of as many people as possible. But it got to the point where I didn't even value my time, right? And I didn't have any time. I didn't have any time for me. And so I wasn't actually developing and moving forward on so many areas in my life that I value. Well, at least I said I valued, right? But I didn't because I was living attentionally, not intentionally, and wasn't investing and building myself. I was simply just catching up with people for coffee because they had some questions or because I wanted to catch up because I like being social. I would try and train like this. I used to train like 3 times a day, and I told myself that it was because I was, really fit and I wanted to be strong and fit and do that sort of stuff. But really I was just avoiding developing areas of myself that were lacking. So it was easier to do the things that I found kind of comfortable. And so what I started to do was I for the first time, I'm very aware that if I'm under stress and that if I can almost mask it as motivated, but it's not. I become scattered and I do all these things. I got all these great ideas and I'm going to work on all of them and I catch myself and I'm like, yeah, in 4 months time I could have this. And then it never fucking happens because I get nothing done because I was so freaking scattered. And it's like, right, dude, put your energy into 1, max 2 things at a time. And that's what I started to do. I have a goal setting framework that I'll teach you. I'll do that in the next episode actually, but that I use. And then I also put up a calendar in my office. I use Google Calendar. Like these are really simple things, but they changed everything. It was consistent and congruent for me. But this was the biggest thing that I did. I pushed all of my meetings to the afternoon. Very rarely will I have a meeting in the morning. Maybe once, maybe twice a fortnight. That's it. Otherwise, all my meetings, I take classes, right? But other than that, it's like, cool, these are the times I'm free. And if every now and again they can't make it and they have to do a morning and I really want to catch up with them, then I will. That's fine. Otherwise, I push it back because that morning was my study time. That morning was me time. That was where I got the things I needed to get done for me. And that was a really interesting thing is like as soon as I started to do that, all of a sudden the 4 hours of work that I had, I'd get done in 4 hours. Right. And the work, this is the other thing that I learned. Maybe it might be the same for you. Maybe it's not the same for you, but the work never ends. It never fucking ends. It is always there. And so you can always send another email. You can always do a bit more market research. You can always, get in contact with another person. You can always do something. So you need to be able to be aware of that and go, hang on a sec. When am I putting time for myself? Is there any fucking structure to my week? Is there any structure to my day? And how am I developing myself? Because you're not finished. You're incomplete. And so if you're only investing into your business and not in yourself, then you're not investing in your business, right? You're not. And it's so crucial to understand that the most important, and it doesn't have to be your business. It can be your job. It doesn't matter. Right? But the most important thing is continually investing time into your own development. And it allows you to then deal when the market turns because you understand yourself a lot better. You're not just going to go drinking and drink your sorrows, drown your sorrows, so to speak. But that's just a quick example. Clearly, it says the guy with 30 bottles of whiskey behind me. But still, hey, it's a hobby, not a habit, okay? Anyway, jokes aside, it really was this idea of going, to be able to live intentionally, I had to be able to put some sort of framework to allow my chaos to have some order. And it's the same thing. Some people have too much order and then, they think they're creative. It's like, no, you're not. You're literally like predictable and stale. So you need to be able to bring some sort of level of creativity in there. And it's like, it's interesting sort of seeing which side of the fence people may sit on between that chaos and order. And people think, we look at chaos and order and we think chaos is bad and order is good. It's like, no. Chaos is just simply the unknown. It's very important for us to have some sort of unknown in our life, or certainty and uncertainty, because too much chaos is bad. But if we have too much order, that is also bad from a government perspective, to like a relationship perspective, to a day-to-day perspective. It is too bad. You need to have a balance of both. So I encourage you to figure that out for yourself. And if you haven't, jump on and do the Enneagram. I mentioned a few times the Raheti test, RHETI. If you're in the Mood Prep Online group, the link's already in there. If you haven't checked out the Mood Prep Online group, check it out. I mention it every time. But just go to davidnixon.com.au/memberships for the human movement. It'll explain it all there. You'll figure it out. But check it out, because those results will give you a bit more of an insight into what kind of personality you may lean into, and how that reflects into how you spend your time and how you may be able to spend it. It does also give you like development paths to how you can potentially spend your time, if I can get my words out, even wiser. Team, that's it. I'm out. Thank you very much for listening. As always, if you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you could pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. Otherwise, until tomorrow, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.